Well, so just to review some of the stuff that we did last year. Number one, what accounts for people's survivability for hostile encounters? What percentage? 75% counts. What accounts for it? Come on, we gotta move forward somehow.
Training.
Proper mindset. Mindset. Your mindset also counts for 75% of all people's ability to survive hostile encounters. What builds confidence and abilities needed to help the operator survive hostile encounters? There you go. That's also a combination with confident mindset. Mindset has a lot to do with it. That's the driving power behind the confidence, abilities, and skills. If you don't have the mindset to back up the abilities and the skills, what's going to be there? A lot of people looking in the mirror at themselves, being flashy, being tactical, is what you'll get. That's not what we're doing. We're not here to be tactical, we're here to be tactical, and that's just being intelligent. Beats per minute, that is the main driving point behind the sympathetic nervous system. If you cannot control your heart rate, you won't control the physical aspects of your job. Your heart rate starts to get out of whack, you get out of whack. Okay? Again, what can you do to control your sympathetic nervous system? Breathe. Tactical breathe. Absolutely right. But also, guess what? We already talked about it.
Train.
Right there. 75% of your survivability is your combat mindset. To have a concrete combat mindset, you also have to know what you're doing. Okay? You got to have that ability to back up what you know how to do. That also helps your sympathetic nervous system. A lot of times when you get into, if anyone else has been, I know some of you guys have been in some types of situations before, and when that time arises, how often do you think? A lot of times you don't think, you react, you respond. You think afterwards, after it's over. Now, am I still alive? You know, stuff like that. Okay? Other signs of the sympathetic nervous system. Paralysis. Involuntary paralysis. Okay? Your ability to take in information, your cognitive abilities degrade after certain beats per minute. You're getting up around 175 beats a minute. That's what you pretty much are supposed to rely on, right? Is the information that's what's being drawn inside of your head. If you don't have the proper information in your head, you don't have the proper direction on which you have to go. That's a whole other reason why we have the training in which we have. It's our job to put ourselves into these different types of situations to where you no longer have to think. You are somewhat familiar with certain types of parameters, and you stay within the parameters without even thought. Okay? How many of you guys can do that right now? Because, again, it's coming. Graduation's coming. There's a lot of stress inoculation training still to come. Okay? Also, auditory exclusion. Auditory exclusion happens. Right? Part of the sympathetic nervous system. You won't hear it. Again, that's a part of the cognitive abilities to make the right response and decisions. Okay? What else is a part of the sympathetic nervous system?
Your vision, free flowing.
All right, that's what he also talked about, tunnel vision, way at the beginning. Another one is also defecation. If you don't take a battle crap before you head out, some of these guys are law enforcement, and you're about to go out there and you're ready to do a raid or something, the best thing to do is take a battle crap before you go. Because if something happens while you're out there in the field, it's going to come out one way or another if your sympathetic nervous system has hit a certain level. It's going to come out. And guys, don't be ashamed of it. That's just natural. Because again, a part of the sympathetic nervous system is your blood flow is going to stop going to the muscles and other things that normally you would have. It's going to go to the muscles and things that's going to help you survive. So your vision starts to go out. You're going to piss yourself. You're going to defecate on yourself if there's something in there, because there's nothing in there to control that stuff no more. The blood's no longer there. That's another reason why you can get shot in vital areas and still survive. Vasoconstriction. You can still be mortally shot in certain areas of the body and still have time to take out the individual and still save lives. So remember, in your head, when we're training and stuff like this, first off, when you feel like giving up, think about this. If you had to fight for your life for another minute, could you? And if the answer is yes, then keep going. And that's in anything you do. Whenever you feel like giving up, I'm starting to work out hard and heavy again, and I feel like stopping, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, can I do one more? If my life depended on it, could I? And that's how you guys become sharper. That's how you guys become better. Okay? So, if you're shot, remember, it's on. Get that in your head. If you're punched, it's on. If you're shot, it's on. If you're stabbed, it's on. You never, ever, ever quit the fight. Because even if you're slashed, stabbed, shot mortally, guys, you can lose almost a half a gallon of blood before you start going down. That's why I tell you, everything that we do in the security world, and even medical, or anything else, time is life. You stop and think, tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. If someone falls down with cardiac arrest, stops breathing, choking, obstructing the airway, right? Tick-tock, it's their life. Make a decision. Is that the time to worry about liability? Is that the time to worry about this and that? Again, I want you guys to get to a point, get your mindsets right to where you no longer think you do. When people run from, you run to. Intelligently. Okay? Don't be stupid. Alright, we already talked about naming a few things that minimizes it. Survival stress, okay, survival reaction time. But it's also called reactionary time. What is that? What is reactionary time?
From the time you
Time you see a problem to
respond to it.
act.
Okay, good. Very good. So I'm going to pick on my son. Yeah, for a second. I don't know what we're going to do. You don't know what's going to happen. Stand over here. All right, so reactionary time. What is between me and my son right now?
Space.
Space.
It's a gap. Think about it. Reactionary gap. Law enforcement personnel here. 21-foot rule. Does that count anymore? Or have they extended it?
Extended,
Why is that?
but they still get to.
They still get to you. Reactionary gap and reactionary time. How long does it take for you to look at something and cognitively tell yourself, this ain't right, here it comes, and then take the physical response to handle it? Okay? So if I'm here and I want to punch my son in the face, first off, you already got to understand, his hands are where they're supposed to be. His hands are in his workspace. They're at the lower part of his workspace, yes, but they're still in his workspace, which also aids in reactionary time. You understand? So if I want to punch him in the face from back here, I got to step back here and actually try to hit him in the face. Right? He had that reactionary gap and he had that reactionary time to do the proper response, in which he did. Blade, evade, deflect, and block. Get it in your head. Blade, evade, deflect. What was the last one? Block. That's when the physical actually happens. Actually, the deflection is where the physical comes in, but a lot of people put that in perspective of actually blocking. That's the last. Okay? Best way to avoid an attack is not be there. Right? That's why in firearms training, stuff like that, we're taught if someone comes out and does something, you step off the X. You step away. You move. Okay? That's why they do that. Now, reactionary gap. Something that is Systema. It's a Russian martial art training program. Spetsnaz, all that garbage, uses it in training. But the thing about this type of martial art is that everything is off of surprise and natural movement. You understand? It's all off of natural movement. So if we're sitting here, he's not paying attention, he still gets his head knocked off. All right? A lot of the strikes and stuff like that they do is they're from normal position and they hit. Do you see that? How can you respond that quick? Guys, we have conflict zones. Do you guys remember the conflict zones in which we talk? What zone am I in right now? I'm in red. Nobody should be in your red zone unless they're family, friends, that's it. Everybody should be kept to a distance in the yellow zone. This is a professional zone. Give me your hand. This is a professional zone. Nobody should be past this. Nobody. One of the first wrist locks that we're going to learn is this one here where you boom, and then they go down. But it's also off of a handshake. That's why it's one of the number ones. You take them out and you hit them down with it. Okay? But you don't let anybody within your red zone. This is where you get stabbed. This is where you get cut. This is where you get tore up right here. Okay? Reactionary gap in time. I know, guys, you guys already got done with listening to preaching. I know. So, the response time is in the 4-step process. One is what, or A? Perception. Is perception always correct? No. Be smart. Watch your intel gathering. All right? What's B? Analyze it. Guys, I'm not talking about sitting behind a desk with your other teammates during a meeting trying to analyze what happened. That comes. But we're supposed to be doing that before the actual event happens so we take the proper tasks. But you can analyze something very ricky-tick if you train good enough. Right? If you train good enough, you can analyze it real quick. By movement, speed, all of that stuff. How many? What weapons? What techniques? All this stuff you're supposed to do prior to that to have that already in your head. What's C?
Evaluate and formulate.
Evaluate and formulate. Guys, you should be able to do this. Now. That separates trained and untrained. As if we get to paranoia and aware. All right? A lot of people think people who are trained are paranoid. No. We're relaxed.
We're ready.
We're trained. That's the difference. What's the last one?
Actually put it into.
Action. Motor. It's time to go. Okay? Remember OODA loop. This helps with the process. What does OODA loop stand for? What does the first O stand for?
Observation.
Observation. What's the other one?
Orientation.
Orientation. What's the other one?
Decide.
Decide. Decision. And the last one is what?
Action.
Action. What's the last one?
Action.
That's right. You gotta have your brain on. You gotta have your brain on before you get into the action. All right, guys. This is where we're going to start to get up. What are the 8 basic weapons of the human anatomy? Can you grab my knives real quick?
Head, shoulder, hands, elbows, knees, feet,
Hips.
Don't forget.
hips.
A lot of people forget that. The hip, then the knee, then the shin, then your feet. Guys, I don't care how they manipulate their weapon and how they want to hit you with it. I don't give a squat about that. Neither do you. You don't. Now, how you manipulate yours, again, that's target specific. We'll talk about some of that stuff later. It's target specific, right? But all these 8 basic weapons of the human anatomy are going to flow and follow 9 angles of attack. Period. Period. 9 angles. 8 weapons. Okay? Don't make it more difficult than what it is. Okay? Don't make it difficult. So, I have this knife. This is something we're going to do. We're going to get everybody a knife, and we're going to partner up, and you're going to slash on 9 angles of attack. Why? Well, guess what? I'm going to teach you edge weapons training too later on. This is just going to give you a heads up on how to manipulate an edge weapon, but it also is teaching you these 9 angles of attack, in which all attacks are going to be launched. Okay? Now, the point of impact plane, or where one of those 9 angles hits, is different. But there's only 4. Okay? Kim? Okay, so if I take a number 1, slash, okay? Number 1 slash, boom, there it is. Again, in edge weapons training, guys, please understand, you always go for the valleys of the human anatomy. Wherever there is a valley, you hit with the edge weapon. Okay? Doesn't matter where the valley is, hit it with a weapon, because that's most likely where all the arteries, connective tissue, ligaments, and everything else are all congregated together. That's also how you can also take out that weapon system on which they're, or that weapon platform on which they're going to get their weapon system. Okay? So, number 1 angle here. That hit the upper plane. Upper plane is from your clavicles to the top of your head. Alright? But the number 1 angle doesn't change. Still number 1 angle, but that was to the lower plane. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3. Same thing. Don't make it more difficult than what it is. It's very basic stuff. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 is straight in. It's just like if you take those 9 angles and put them on the floor and put tape, that's your what? Your combat compass in which you actually move. You move only in 8 directions. Okay? 8 directions of movement, 8 basic weapons of the human anatomy, 9 planes of attack, 9 angles of attack, 4 planes. Get it in your head. Get it in your head. Okay? So we're about to do this. 9 angles of attack, 4 point of impact planes. There's the mid, from your hip to your shoulder. Lowers from your hip to the floor. And then the last one's your center. All you all should know, a lot of vital areas are going to be 1 to 2 inches off the center of anybody. Okay? Pretty much from the center of your nose to the eyes. That range. Take the width of your head, right? Now just go down the body. All the vital areas are right there. The width of your head, straight down. That's the vital areas. Okay? We already talked about combat compass, right? Combat compass, you only have 8 directions in which to move. There they are. There's your conflict zones. Green is distance, but the kicks, keep them at a distance. Due to conflict escalations, things have to start from a distance. Because the adversary needs to take his information just as much as you have to take your information. Do you understand? All conflict escalation will start from the distance. They have to understand who they're attacking. Then they have to close the distance to make contact, unless, of course, it's something that goes at a faster rate at a longer distance. I have to get in your reactionary gap in time. I have to get through your conflict zones to touch you, to get a hold of you. If you were just daggone asleep, that's the only way they're going to get to you, if you just keep your head on a swivel. But don't be paranoid. Watch. Look. Okay? So we have move forward, reverse, or rear. We go 90 left or right. Then we have 90 45s, which is forward. Excuse me. You step 45 degrees forward. That's it. Then you have the negative 45s to the reverse or aft area. To the rear is what I was going to say, which is correct. All right, so you have the red zone, really quick, really close. Ground control tactics are in this zone. Wrist manipulation, joint manipulations, takedowns, everything's done in the red zone. Okay? Yellow zone is all hand, arm length. All right, a lot of strikes. And then down here, as you can see, that's it. 9 angles of attack, 8 basic weapons. That's not a clown nose. And then the 4 point of impact planes. 4 point of impact planes. Guys, please get it. Get it. That's the basics. That's everything that we're going to do from here on is going to be based off of this. Everything that we do is going to be based off of this. All right? All right. I need you guys to pair up. Find an empty space. Come up here and grab a knife. This is my neck. Guess what I'm doing? I cut his arm. I'm defanging a snake. All right.
Like he'll drop the weapon.
So as he's cutting me across, good. This is what we call a range check. Whenever we practice, we want that to contact. So this is getting you used to watching the angle of the attack and where it's actually hitting. So when he recoils that back and strikes again, I'm going to move back and I'm going to cut his arm and I'm going to come in and do what I need to do. Okay? That's called defanging the snake. But guys, we got to do it one step at a time. First thing is these guys have to get used to hitting that target. Precise. Precision is everything. Not close. I want you to be precise. Just like when we pull these out, I want you to be precise on what you're shooting, right? Or we're wasting our time. So we have 1, valley, 2, valley. Where's his hand at? Not where it's supposed to be. I'm serious.
You're gonna get
Guys,
duct tape.
I'm serious. It needs to be in your workspace. Reactionary time has to be here. All the organs that they want to take from you are right here. Okay? Keep your stuff in your workspace. Okay? 1, 2, 3. There it is. Good. Now I can come where? There. Okay? We're just doing a simple X. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. There. That's all you guys are doing right now. Know what you're striking at. Did you also see he did not pull upwards this way? He rotated. Because guys, when you go through flesh, you're most likely going to hit bone. When you hit bone, it's going to stop a little bit. You got to get some stuff behind it. All right? Come on, guys, let's work. Watch how you slice.
Same thing at 3 in this one. It don't matter how you hold it, right? It don't matter where you're at. It's still all the same angles. Neither.
Point it to the adversary, so if he starts to fall, you're just assisting. Hip, you can still move your hips as you're gutting. Because where's power at? Is power here? No. Power's here. It's in the core. Okay? So every time you slice, have this orientated to your adversary. Just like when we pour a weapon system out. It should automatically, immediately be orientated to our attacker. Right? So guys, 1 and 2, right? Have it come back to your hip bone. Touch your hip bone with it. Come back, touch your hip bone with it. Come up this way with the number 3, right? Have the blade orientated to what? Your adversary. Because listen, if you come back up, if I slice this way, right? I still have a number what? 1.
Right.
It's no longer a slash, but it's now what? It's still number 1, but it's coming in as a stab. You're stabbing on a number 1 angle. Here and here. Right? That's why you always orientate your blade to your adversary. Alright? A little bit of blade training. Let's go. Yeah, there you go. Because you're a lot of times
Mass murder stuff.
Top 3.
Three is open to close, and close to open. There you go. Think about that. Number 1 is open to close, which you're closing your arm across your body. Okay? That's always, because a lot of times what normal people, they say, even the FBI say about 91% or 97% of fights always begin with a hook. It's open to close. That's just people's natural response. So that's another reason why we go number 1 is open to close. Keep your elbows close. Okay? As you strike out and in. You're not going to come out here and strike. You're going to come up exactly and strike. You got it. You got it. You got it.
I did kill David 3 times.
Guys, I'm right here. If you have a question, raise your hand. I'll come to you.
y'all.
I bet you Pam will coach you.
3.56. And just you want to rotate your wrist. And a lot of that is slows the movement down. Basically, the way we're doing it. Reason I go like this, pinky first, and try to take that out of my hand. That way.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
It ain't gonna be easy. Taking it that way, it makes it a whole lot easier. That's why I go pinky first. So I mean, you can do it. You can try to think of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can think of it pinky first. Because it's harder to take it away from
The main grip.
the way you're holding it.
Deflect him. So if he comes at me with 1, I'm gonna cut the inside of the door here to kind of cut those ligaments and stuff. So I can't hold knife anymore. So yeah, so these kind of a dodge. Push away and then slice at the same time. Yeah. And then you can come back through, especially if you keep a hold of it. And you can lock it on. Or when it comes across, but you can pull against it. Oh yeah. I got this one here. Or if I'm coming through, or you can step back and pass this through. Now you can cut that as you deflect away. You get away from it. That makes sense. So if I'm coming at you, or you can do that.
But I'm gonna keep going though. I like that one he showed us. Where
Closing that gap too, so we're especially close.
when you catch it.
How you guys doing? Look like you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, come on over here. Introduce you to.
Good to meet you,
How
man.
you doing, Brian? Good to meet you. Absolutely.
I was letting them work.
Yeah, they're kind of teaching me and getting me sped up on a little bit.
Yeah, what we're mainly doing is knowing the 9 angles of attack. But the great thing is in edge weapons training, they follow those 9 angles of attack as well. 9 angles of attack doesn't change because of the weapon system you hold in your hand. Okay, I don't care if it's empty hand. What happens? Totality of circumstances. But yeah, but that's what we're working on. Okay, some of you guys who have more experience, I'm going to go ahead and push you guys up to start using your dead hand. So a lot of these guys here, they stand there and they allow the individual to do 1 and 2, and we always go open to close. Okay, 1 will always be open to close, and what I'm saying is that you're closing your body off with that arm. Okay, then 2 will always be closed to open. Okay, so what I want you guys to do, since you guys have a little more experience, the ones who are standing there allowing this to happen, I want you to start utilizing your dead hand. Your dead hand is the sacrificial lamb. Okay, that's why it's called the dead hand. So if he goes for a 1, first it's a gap check. This is a range check. You want to make sure that what he's doing is accurate. He's hitting an accurate spot. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to step back. I don't know why his hand's down there. There you go. You go here. You get that dead hand up there and let it pass. Let that pass. Okay, let's do 1 again. Range check. Good. And something else I don't want you guys to do is over-animate. Although in real life, a lot of people will over-animate because they think that's the maximum amount of efficiency of power. But I don't want you, there you go. Keep it close and keep it tight. Don't waste energy. That's like blocking an attack. I don't want you to block way out here. They're not attacking over here. They're attacking here. So you stay close and tight to protect what they're trying to take. Okay? He goes 1. Blading, evading, deflect. That's what you're doing. You're blading, you're evading, and you're deflecting all at one time using your sacrificial lamb. Okay? He comes in with the 2. Move. Let him 5. Because later on, guys, we're going to be defanging the snake. That's the snake. That's the fang. He goes with that 1. It's all coming.
You know, that makes me smile.
I don't know why. It's not good though.
It does me too.
This not make sense.
4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 7 is straight down. 8 is straight up. Okay? Watch how you orientate your hands. If it comes down this way, you guys can rotate, palm out, come back up. If it goes down with the 7, you guys can also rotate your palm out, but you have to turn this way and come back up. As long as you understand the physics of cutting somebody. If you're going to slash this way, that's fine. If you're going to take bone with it, you got to have momentum and force behind it. Okay?
You gotta have the strength.
Got to have the strength. Exactly right. You know it. You know that better than majority. Lord, it's super bright. Look at my face.
You can't see you when you're on this side.
You were close, man.
That's so close.
Almost got it.
And I'll be cutting him as he's attacking me, because you have that energy of the guy attacking, slamming into your edge weapon. So you're doubling your efficiency. Okay. But another thing is as he does that, pop, 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 pop. Yeah, we're still doing that. Okay? You're still going to be able to deploy your weapon system, and just like your knives, guys, the point of your weapon system is always orientated to your adversary. Same as if you deflect, your muzzle is always what? Pointed to your adversary. Right?
One, two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's still hard to get that 7 going down. Like it feels like it should be up.
I don't,
One more. Try one more, see if I can get it up.
Yeah, if you're using a double bladed,
6,
you can just
7,
but since this is single blade, what you're going to want to do is
All right, you guys also start using your dead hand. Okay, so remember the basics of defense is blade, evade, deflect. Those are the first 3, and that's what we're going to utilize. Okay, so if he comes with a 1 to my. Okay, now that was a 2. Always think about a 2. 2 is closed to open. See, he's closing his body with his arm. Okay, 1 is always open to close. Okay, so even with the 2, it's still effective. The main thing is with blade, evade, deflect. So he comes with a 1 to cut my belly, get out of the way. He comes with a 2, get out of the way. Okay, again, this is going to come when we defang a snake. This is your snake. This is the fang. When we have edge weapons against the edge weapons, that's exactly what we're going to do. If he comes in with that, see where my dead hand went? See where this is going? Slicing, coming in and trapping. Okay, that's going to come. Also with deploying your second or your primary weapon system, which is normally a secondary. If you come with the 1, you're already here. Remember our number 1 in a 4-count draw? 1. That's the reason why we do it. Time competitive, time sensitive. Okay? So start using your dead hand. It's the sacrificial lamb. Deflect it. Blade, evade, deflect. He comes back to the 2. Blade, evade, deflect. That's why our hands need to stay here. Okay? Have fun.
I'm left-handed too. It's backwards for me. I'm watching this stuff.
I'm probably going to throw you down the knees first couple times instead of deflecting or kill myself.
I'll go right here. That way that's natural for most people.
Do what you
I know. It's for better for you. 'Cause I'm a bad partner. It's not grab. You're not grabbing. It's deflecting.
I know, that's why I always want to grab.
All right, guys. Yes.
And as you're deflecting, you're staying back. Don't just push and lean.
Follow out. Follow out. Like our goal. That's it.
Just get out of the way of the knife. You're standing, just kind of leaning back.
I say conflict escalation. Remember, it has to be done from a distance to close the distance, to capture you, to manipulate you. They have to close the distance. Where's that pad? No, the pad.
I thought you said bag.
No.
That's why I'm so confused.
Grab that pad. So, the number 1 thing is we're going to work in our green conflict zones. Guys, one of the most efficient ways of doing this is a front kick. It's just a front kick. Okay? The quickest way between 2 points is straight line. No, never deny it. Okay? Now, it depends on your abilities. your flexibility, and everything else depends on where the front kick's gonna land. Me personally, I like a front kick that's low. Okay? Who remember the Three Stooges? Yeah. Masterminds. One of the greatest things about the Three Stooges is they had the high-low concept. Yeah. That it is. It's accurate to this day. Okay? Because a lot of times, guys, we talked about the sympathetic nervous system. What goes out? He mentioned it. Where'd he go? He's gone. Okay. It was tunnel vision. And a lot of times people are like, I'm going to bust you in the nose. Oh, yeah? Oh. They don't see it. It flies under radar. But you got to watch. Sometimes you just do a soccer pass, right? Like you're passing a soccer ball. Or sometimes you're going to come up and you're going to drive it in. And that means you have to line your upper body with that drive. Okay? A lot of my assistant instructors call that the Winchester because I do it all the time. Every time we talk and we're doing it, I'm just like, ooh, and they're just, it's the high-low thing. I'm just like, hey, paying attention? And they actually fall into it. Guys, have you ever been nut checked?
Every day.
Guess what? Guess what happens? Guess what happens? It's involuntary.
Let it go, Jeff.
It's going to happen. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to bow to you. That sets up what? Your next technique. That sets up your next technique. That means they can't do jack squat about it. Isn't that great? There's nothing they can do about it. You nut check them, they're going to come forward, they're going to go right into your trap. Guys, you got to utilize that for your success. Stop giggling. Okay, so front snap kicks, guys, can also become higher. Watch how you deploy your foot. If you're going to hit somebody in the chest or something, it's okay to have that toe like that, coming up straight. If you're going to go for a leg shot, you better turn that toe out, right? Because it's better to hit something cross T than straight on if it's a narrow target. If I come in with the narrow target here to his knee and he just moves, that's ineffective. You want to cross check, which means you have to let your hip what? Come out a little bit. Bring it up to your chest, the pad. Here, there's that distance again. There's thrust kicks, there's snap kicks. Snap kicks more like a check, unless you hit their, right? It's more of a check, and then all of a sudden you're still there. Effective ways of striking, guys, remember, strike hard, strike fast, strike often, high-low, and a minimum of 3. If you go in with this, you better have something to check. At least minimum of 3, or don't go in. Okay? So that's what we're going to work on, front kicks. Gentlemen who have more experience in fighting, if you wouldn't mind to grab a pad and have guys line up in front of you. Let's start kicking the pad. There you go.
I'll take that back.
Open your hips up. Yes. Toe out. There you go. Good.
Drive both of them.
And just like yes, you can, as long as you guys understand something. He was absolutely correct as well. If you like that, that's fine. If you want to come in this way, that's fine. As long as it's a T intersection, that's what I want.
Get my bag.
Okay?
There's natural when you come this way.
That's fine. If you come in this way to stomp and then come in this way to stomp, that's fine. Make it a cross section.
I'll tell you, make sure you cut these.
Come on, let's go. Let's go. Remember, keep your hands up. Keep your hands in your workspace. And guys, I really don't care. Again, stop for a second. I can already tell, has good training because he has his fist closed. Something that I want you guys to try to start doing, though, as the security of the avenue, is that we're very passive. Hands are open. Everyone's like, well, if I have my fingers open, they can grab me and they can, well, don't. Don't let them. They can kick you in the balls, too. You're going to let them do that as well? I mean, seriously, if I'm here trying to calm the situation down, because everyone's doing what? They have their phones out. They're always cameraing. They're always filming. So what looks worse from an avenue security standpoint of view? If you're like this, or if you're like this? Relax. Because you're already
Ray's talking to him right now.
Calm down, Ray.
In Jesus' name. The other guy is ready to talk.
That's right. If he has his fist in and ready to go, and I'm like this, who looks like they're trying to calm the situation down? That's what. But guys, please understand something. I'm trying to get you guys set up for success when we go to primary weapon systems. If we get our AR system platforms out, and I'm used to this, he can go get his weapon system and place it right in the V's of my hand, and it's right in the same place as my weapon system as I maneuver it. It's neurological pathways. It's natural responses that we're building. It's consistency if you have a weapon or if you don't. You're supposed to be the weapon. You are the ultimate weapons platform. Now, what system you put in your hand, that's up to you, but you better launch it with accuracy. Right? So if you guys are kicking, keep your hands open, because it's also good for eye gouging, throat shooting, grasping, directing. All right? I'd rather hit somebody with an open hand. Remember, soft to hard, hard to soft. Okay? I'd rather hit somebody with a palm smash across the face and not break my hand, or then hit a frontal bone or something with my hand incorrectly and break my own hand. That makes me inefficient in a fight. There you go. Beautiful. Keep your hands open. Calm them down. Keep your elbows tight. The more your elbows flare, the more they can cut you. Guys, we got to look at all the different avenues and ways that people are going to manipulate to kill you. You got to look left, look right, flip the sign, and stay tight. You got to stay tight, guys. You got to stay tight. Keep your elbows in. When we go to our weapon systems, guess what? Our elbows are going to stay in. They're protecting your sides. Okay?
I'm gonna pray for you.
Amen. Amen. And Jesus, he's going to see the light one way or another. And a concussion, the Holy Spirit. And you can also, not only the side of the foot or stomping at the bottom of the foot, as long as you have the T intersection right in the frame. Because if these come up this way, okay,
Let's go back.
still the intersection, and it's still A and B in straight line. Okay? It all depends on the time. Right here. I So, the thing is, guys, remember blade, evade, and deflect, right? We just did that with the dead hand. Good. Also, try not to grasp. He's grasping, which is a natural intuitive response. You want to seize and control. But again, I'm setting you up for other things coming down the road you don't know yet. Okay? For example, he blades and evades and deflects. He's supposed to be what? Blading, right? What that also does, guys, is as he does number one, go ahead. You see that? You're still able to get that out.
Is she the nurse?
Range check. Good. Go ahead, cut it. Always range check whenever you practice with somebody. Range check. Make sure that they're hitting where they're supposed to hit. If he's slashing at me and he's not going to hit me, what good is it for me? You have to make it to where it's going to contact you. Okay? So he does it again. But now look, I'm letting it pass. Once it's passed, guys, you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do with it. Okay? It's all a preparation act. It's a preparational movement. Okay? So even if he's holding the blade here against your throat, right? Guys, listen. Blade, evade, and deflect still works here. Right? He has it against my throat. I like his hand where it's supposed to be. Because, guys, if it's here, I'm going to blade, evade, do the Winchester. Guess what? That quick, though. What's quicker, action or reaction? Action is always quicker than reaction. So if he's here, guys, it's already in his throat. But it all is based off of all the basics I just told you. Blade, evade, deflect, and block. Strike hard, strike often, high-low principle. Right? Combat compass. All of it is going to set you up for success wherever we go from here. Okay? That's what I wanted to show you. That's why we're also leaning as we kick. Not only is it making it more powerful, but it's getting your upper body away from that attack. Okay?
What I was saying is,
What's the next one? Yellow. Yes, it's yellow. They're making their way in. Let's say he went ahead and kicked, and I got past that kick, and now I'm coming in. Because, guys, listen, very few fights continue in the yellow zone. Very few fights, unless they're UFC, and even then they go to the ground. Okay? It's either going to be running distance, or you're going to be kissing distance. You're either going to be in the green zone, or you're going to be in the red zone. Okay? Now, but it's your responsibility to control, it doesn't matter what zone they're in. Because if you break them down from the green and yellow, there's not much of a fight now when you get to the red. But we still, guess what? Ground control tactics are still coming. Okay? But guys, let's break them down. Let's steal their energy as they're trying to penetrate. As they're penetrating each zone, take more of their energy away to where they almost lose the will to fight when they get this close. Okay? But we know from experience, James, myself, and some other warriors that are with us tonight, we know for experience that that gap will close in a matter of seconds. Okay? If you don't learn the basics of your conflict zones and your combat compass and in moving and your accuracy with your strikes and what strike goes where and what timing, and guess what? You think all the planets are going to align every time when you get into a fight? No. That's called totality of circumstances. You have to modify your conditions as it's presenting itself in front of you, period. The only way you're going to do that is by getting used to operating in each one of these zones. So the next zone is going to be the yellow zone. I want us to start working on our vertical fists. Work on your vertical fist punch. Try to hit with the first two knuckles. Not all of them. Try to focus on the first two. Less point of contact there is more pressure. It's physics. Also, proper skeletal alignment. That's another reason why these things that we hold in our hand and our shoot is the reason why the handle is made in that angle. Do you notice that? It's not just 90 degrees, is it? No. There's a slight turn to it. Why? Because it puts the ergonomics of what? They knew kinetic energy is a factor here. So they wanted to disperse through your arm more efficiently. That's the same way as if you're going to use a punch. Right? But you also have to angle yourself for accuracy when you hit. Okay? So again, the vertical fist, it's great because again, the quickest way between 2 points is straight line. So if we're here anyway, it's just here. Pop! That quick. That quick. And guys, it doesn't stop there because we do a minimum of 3. That's right. So as they're breaking down, if they get past that, you can still hear. And you're still using what? Your dead hand to help jam them, to trap them. Right? All right, so vertical fist. Just from here. Take a little shuffle forward. Strike them. A little shuffle forward. I'm launching off that back foot. I'm launching off that back foot. Even set just here. Pop. Hit them with it. Forward and reverse. Think of it as an old locomotive if you want. Keep coming in, okay? But it all starts from here. Boom, hit. If you don't feel right here, bring your elbow in. This is why we call it warrior science. Each one of you all are a different equation because you guys have different types of capabilities, limitations, heights, all of that. So this is your time to just do it slow. Okay? Me personally, I love the shoulders coming up. Shooting platforms doesn't matter. We're here. Our shoulders are up. Why? Because what are our shoulders doing?
Protecting our carotids.
Protecting the carotids. Protecting your jawline. And it's also already getting you what? Linearly aimed up. That's less movement. A lot of times they what? Boxers throw their shoulders first, right? The shoulders are already up. Shoulders are already up. You look defensive, but you are defensive. You're protecting yourself. This is going to be crucial when it comes to firearms training too. Okay? Your shoulders are up. When someone gets scared and tense, shoulders what? Rise. It's a natural intuitive response. Use it. Use it. Walk through it. Go slow. You don't have to do this fast, ladies and gentlemen. Learn. Get that feel. What is that? Slow is fast. And anything you do from a protective standpoint of view, understand the ergonomics of it before. All right, let's go. Vertical fist.
Ken,
Fist.
you first. You, okay, here,
I
Pam
can
can
do
do it.
fists. I can't do legs, but I can do fists.
I'm scared of her.
Hey, let Johnny hold that bag real quick.
Yeah.
Johnny, still picking up some.
That would be bad.
Really hit him?
Now breath. You gotta breathe. You gotta breathe.
Breathe! Breathe! Thank you!
You just put
Every time you... He's a big boy. There you go, good. Keep your fists vertical. Keep those elbows tight, straight in. There you go. Have a slight bend with your elbow. There you go. All right, stop for a quick second. Open your hands up. There you go. You're not going to fight somebody here. You're just going to calm them down. And that here, elbows are in. Good. Shoulders are up. Kind of square off. See how I'm here with you? Look here. I'm not going to blades. The reason, yeah, we're just here. My shoulder back here rotates forward. You see what I'm saying? The reason why we don't stand this way is because even if we have body armor or stuff like that, it's a bad thing to get used to unless there's cover, because they can shoot you right here, take both lungs out and your heart. Okay? So you always want to kind of stand this way anyway. Watch my shoulders. They come up and they come in. They articulate. Okay? And there you go. Good. Now, vertical. Right here. Straight up and down. That's exactly right. Hey guys, watch your thumb positioning. Whenever you do vertical fists, in Ishinryu, they always love putting the thumbs on top. Okay? Another reason, I used to be in Kempo and Muay Kwan and Taekwondo and all this other stuff where we wrapped our fingers or thumbs around. But something that they told me in Ishinryu, that when I move my thumb, you'll see that ligament pop up? That actually helps with stability of that wrist. See, it disappeared, it comes back in. But also, guys, we have multiple weapons now. This knuckle strike here. You come in and hit somebody here and you can still come up with that knuckle. You still have these knuckle strikes for temple shots. Ribs, you guys know for a fact how that hurts. You get somebody racking your ribs or racking your temple, boop, down. It's also a beautiful thing about the weapons of the human anatomy. There's something on your opponent's body that it matches. It's funny. Because even this here, see that arch? There's a larynx right here. The larynx, that cartilage. Pop, just scrape it. Yeah. I mean, if you miss it this way, you're still going to hit, but you can come back. And you still have that knuckle. Pop.
It makes me hurt thinking about it.
Okay? And don't forget those 9 angles of attack. They're still traveling on all those. Okay? Vertical fists. Vertical fist. It also keeps the vertical fist also keeps your elbows in. Yeah. You know what song was going through my head right then? That macaroni song. What is that?
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
No. That's what it is. Everybody.
Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Let's go, guys. Let's go. Stay linear. Stay straight in.
Hands slipped out. My hand slipped out. I couldn't get back a hold of it.
Have the majority of you guys done it?
Yeah.
Majority, okay. I'm going to change you guys up just a tad bit. The majority of you guys have done that already. The next strike, guys, elbow. All right, we're getting into the point where we're in the red zone. If they get past this and they get past this, now you got to start coming in here. Okay? Where's my shoulder? Up. What's it protecting? It's protecting the whole entire. Exactly right.
Twist into it.
Not only use your body, but also gravity. Combine all of it together for your success. It's not just a swing. It's not just that twisting movement. It's drop. Drop. Okay? A lot of times in Thai fighting, when they do a roundhouse kick, a lot of times people in like Taekwondo, they articulate the hip whenever they strike with a roundhouse. If you wouldn't mind to leave it down here. Let's take that out. There you go. Okay, yep, one thumb come to your thigh. So a lot of times people do that. They articulate the hip here. Yes, it does hurt a little bit, but Thai fighters do something else. They lock their hip and they come down at an angle. All right, they come in, they kind of leap up. See how I'm rising on my feet, on the balls of my feet, and then I use that whole entire body, and I drop it.
Joey.
Oh, yeah. But you might as well stay there because we're not.
He could feel the difference. I guarantee you he felt the difference of when it locked and when you're articulating your hip. That's also full dedication. If you guys ever watch Thai fighters, if they miss their opponent, what happens? They come all the way around because they're fully dedicated to the attack. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to use that same type of mindset, but just elbows. Okay? Use your dead hand. Grab the side of here. You're helping him out. You're going to grab the side of the mat and you can come down. Use your dead hand. Okay? So we're here, right? We're stepping in all at one time. Let's stand side. We're stepping all at one time. You see that? Come in. What this simulates is here. Yeah, you're simulating where you're coming behind. Okay, so when you're even by yourself at the house, hit your hand.
You want to come over here and sit with me?
Hit your hand. Grasp, hit, grasp, hit. Okay? So as we're standing here, we're here anyway, right?
I'm gonna learn how to do that.
Right? We're here? Did you guys see that real quick? Just real quick. I'm already here. What a lot of people won't see is this thumb does what?
Pokes him in the eye.
Gouges him in the eye real quick. And then you step in, pop. That gets you set up. Strike. Boom.
See, it works real good when you got them on the ground, too.
Absolutely it does. So guys, if he drops this and we're already here, guy, I told you, boom, right there. Strike, hit, pop.
You're gonna catch him here, inside the head right now.
So just remember that. Grab, elbow. Step back. Here. Grab, elbow. Don't forget that thumb. Just a flick of a thumb. Okay? You guys can work on the elbows too. Elbows crossed. Yeah, you want to stay with you guys can. Yeah, make sure you can. As soon as everyone's done this, do the elbows.
Stab him in the eyeball.
What I want you guys to do
Watch that shoulder back.
Sorry, bad shoulder.
It's like a Thai fighter, just grab it.
There you go, Johnny. There's your shape.
But even here,
I might need that.
that flick. Because if he drives you back, we're already here anyway. So you guys could do it from a normal handshake position, okay? Thing is, again, I'm sure you guys always watched Steven Seagal. You guys remember back in his heyday when he was thin? Oh man, he was awesome. All right, so as you can see, I'm shaking his hand with my finger out. I'm getting used to that also because of many different things. My fingers are always pointing anyway. But this here also can break a wrist down. This is also in Aikido and Aiki Jiu-Jitsu and all this other stuff. We use our fingers to point where we want the adversary to go. It's as simple as that. It's kind of like a reference. So what we're doing, if you ever seen some people shake their hands like this, it's also a good form of greeting. But they're also pointing to their center. This is, again, the power lies in the center, not out here. So as you shake hands, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. That's what that's for. It's also security. Okay? Don't be like the presidents and show dominance. Okay? So, thing is here, I want you to execute what we worked on with the low strike. As you see, I'm pulling him where? I'm pulling this way, and I'm just kind of a twist, right? That twist is getting me ready to now break into this. Now, there's a thing called high hands in Aikido. And a lot of times in Aikido, guys, they did things off of spear and sword fighting. Okay? So a lot of times when high hands come into play is they're pulling their sword from the sheath, and then they're doing this. And that's what high hands is for. Okay, I'm going to show you redirectional exercises later. But just from a handshake, strike, you pull, and now it's a circular thing. It's circular. You're going from hip to hip. Remember our edge weapons. When we sliced, it came to our hip. Sliced, it came to our hip. So the same thing is going to hip to hip. And look what my fingers are doing. I want you to go over here. That's what you got to get in your head. Point them in the direction in which you want them to go. Okay? And then this will go spawn to everything else we're going with it. Okay? He grabs me here, right? That's fine. No, go ahead. No, that's fine. Crack. Guess what? Stop. Guess what here? Next hurts here, but I'm going to come back across with that one again. So there's many different ways to manipulate your body to get to number one, but we're just going to work off of just a handshake. How you doing? Cover it. Cover their hands. How you doing? It's good to see you. Pop. Here. Pop. Now what I'm doing is I'm not overemphasizing the arch. If you guys want to overemphasize the arch, do so. Please don't hurt your fellow practitioner. You see my.
No, we ain't laughing at you. Somebody about fell behind you.
Oh, okay. You see where my fingers are in the wrist. Remember valleys, right? Get in the valley. Look at where my fingers are on the hand. All right? Fold them down. And it's not just doing this, gentlemen and ladies. It's also twisting and then pushing down. Okay? Wrist lock number one. That's the first one because it's easy coming off of a handshake. Because later on, as I said, you don't have to do this here no more. Now you can just go from here straight over. Okay? Never try to do a wrist lock without a preparatory action. Never try to do a wrist lock without a preparatory action. That's what that was for. Because for a second you're taking them off of the attack, giving you that little bit of reactionary time to get them manipulated.
Even been stomping their toes.
That's exactly right.
You're also getting them to lean in. Stomp that foot.
Exactly right. So even if we're here, pop. Oh, that's beautiful. Crack. Whoa. And I even use my hand. See that? To get up higher. Okay? Guys, this is going to blossom to so many things. So get in the partners, handshake. 3 times. Wrist lock, number 1. All right, guys. We started off with a lot. We covered a tremendous amount tonight. I thank you guys for sticking with it. Again, watch your mindset. Watch your technique. 75% of your survivability in a hostile encounter means mindset. Watch your mindset, but also your what? Conditioning and your training. Okay? So even while you're sitting here going through these moves, you guys need to have the proper mindset as you execute the moves. That is no longer your friend in front of you or that pad in front of you, that is your adversary. And you have to start to cultivate that heart and that mindset on the very reasons why you're doing some of these movements. Okay? Watch your mindset. Make it accurate. The last time we left before we went on this long hiatus, we were working on room clearing tactics and stuff like that. Okay? I'm going to jump us right back into that. So, next few classes, this is what we're probably going to do. We're going to start the class with getting up, moving, working on these basics and things like that, and then we're going to jump into the firearms techniques. And if I do have an opportunity, one of these classes I'm also going to mix the medic training in with the last portion of the class. Okay? But since we have been doing a lot of punching and kicking and stuff like that, we need to go ahead and go back over our firearm handling and tactics. 4-count draw. Okay, now remember your basics. Remember your conflict zones. Remember your combat compass and how you have to step. Okay? And when you step off the exit, a lot of times, especially in firearms training, it's not just one step. You're moving for a reason. Not only to get out of the way of these supersonic and subsonic projectiles coming at you, but you're also going to try to move to a position of success, which is most likely cover or concealment, if it's even existent. But remember, in gunfighting or any type of fighting, a static target is a dead target. You have to move, and you have to keep moving. And it doesn't matter if it's empty hand, edge weapons, or firearms. It doesn't matter. Move. Okay? Now, 4-count draw. We have a 4-count draw. The 4-count draw starts, again, you're here in interview position with your firearm, what? Furthest away from your adversary. Right? 4-count draw is your hand stays, your dead hand, by the way, stays where it's supposed to be against your chest. You go for the firing grip while it's in the holster. Once this is deployed from the holster, I do not want to see you fidgeting with it. You should be from this position on, concrete and set with that firing grip. Okay? Number 2 position. As it leaves the holster, guys, listen, it stays at the holster, but it cants out, right? And the muzzle comes oriented toward your target. Do you see that? It comes up and it comes toward your target. Am I fidgeting now with my grip? No, because you're out and you're ready to engage your adversary. Now, time is life. Tick-tock. We just got done talking to law enforcement officers. They said the 21-foot rule has now been extended. Okay? We're going to take the adversary out if it's even this close kissing. You understand? It's canted so it doesn't get caught in your garment, right? As that slide is moving, and you have a garment on or clothes or puffy clothes, it's most likely not going to get caught in that, causing an out-of-battery condition. Right? That's number 2 position. Number 1, number 2. Number 3, it comes here to your support hand, your dead hand. Now, please pay attention. My support hand doesn't go to the weapon system attitude. Why is that?
Because you got to pull your center.
You guys are all in the right direction and correct. And also remember, it's what? Reactionary time. Because most likely, if you're going to shoot from this position, what's happening?
You're blocking
What's this hand doing? Redirecting, right? What happens if you go from here to here and you're fighting?
You might shoot yourself.
Exactly right. So it goes here, strike, whatever, then it comes to your center of your body. Now, watch my support hand, guys. My thumb, we use our index finger, right, not only for safety, but also for pointing to shoot in close quarters. If I can point at you, I can shoot you. I don't need my sights. Okay? I have a video of me shooting from 33 feet away from this position, still hitting my target. The paper plate. Okay? But the reason being is, where are my shoulders at? Up for protection. Here. As it comes here, watch, see my hand rotating already? Because as it comes here, guys, it's now going to hit my frame, and I'm pointing with my what? Thumb just as much as it is my finger. And it's that sandwich effect. See that? You see my grip, right? My support hand, this part of my hand right here, is going to fall right in, which is giving you more security around that grip almost entirely. Because if there's any open space on this side grip panel, it's like electricity. It's going to follow the path of least resistance, that kinetic energy as you're shooting. Because if you're right-handed, I guarantee you, all you shooters know, if we deal with people who are right-handed who don't shoot very often or are trying to get back into shooting after it's been a while, they'll shoot low and to the left. Almost every time. Because they don't have that proper support with that hand, and they're manipulating that front sight when they're pulling the trigger, anticipating recoil. It'll happen every time. Just like, guys, the ball check. Just like the ball check. It's going to come forward every time. It's the same thing. If you don't have that secure grip, if you look and you have that secure grip and you see that front sight and you don't manipulate, you'll hit your target every time. It's amazing that the bullets hit where you want to go.
There's something wrong with this side.
Very, very fun. All right, so the number 3 position is here. Look at my shoulders. Look at my shoulders. This thing is 90 degrees. It's almost like a UT, no balls. It's completely perpendicularly 9, because I can point to you and I got you. I know I do. I can move here and I have him. I know I do. I don't need anything else from this. It's a natural point of aim. It's a natural point of index. My elbows are not out here. They're close in. Which also is going to support what? The way we try to defend ourselves empty-handed. Our elbows are in. All right? Keep your elbows in. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 is punching out if distance allows you. I'm not going to punch out when my son's standing right here. I'm not going to punch to the 4. Do you know how many people do that?
A lot.
Unintentionally too. It's like here. Law enforcement officers, how many times have you heard that story where in training, right? And what do? They hand it back, right? And then they hand it back. And how many times have you guys heard of an officer doing that to the adversary? Because it's in their heads. The adversary's here pointing at them, they're just like, okay, whoa, whoa, and they're like, whoa, it's happened. It's happened. The guy's on the field. Luckily, his partner was standing right there. What? What are you doing? It was trained. It was those training scars. So after a while, guys, when we're doing this, they don't hand it back. It's their turn now. Then it's their turn. Then they disarm you. Never hand things back. It teaches bad scars. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last thing that's online in shooting is your weapon system. Everything you as a platform should already be calibrated and set. Last thing is that thing getting into position at 4. You guys saw during our blade and evade, deflect and block, our edge weapon stuff, right? I evaded, and I still what? They're shooting. That's why we do that. Okay, so the 4-count draw. Know it. Know the basics. All right? 8 basic weapons, 9 angles of attack, 4 point of impact planes, 8 directions to move. Strike hard, strike fast, strike often, high, low. When it comes to defending yourself, blade, evade, deflect, and block. That's it. Okay? Target engagement. Who remembers what target engagement, what we covered? Targets? Come on, Brian. What else? So, how many targets? When we come into target engagement, first thing is what? Target or targets. Where are they located? Proximity. All that other good stuff. Right? Weaponry, proximity, and posture of intent. Remember it. Weaponry, proximity, and posture of intent. Dalton comes in with the gun, and you enter the room, and I turn like this. I'm just like, okay, do you take a shot? Do you take a shot, yes or no?
No.
Why not?
Not threatening.
You're not a threat.
Not life-threatening. You guys, please understand. I have put the TCA codes, the Tennessee Code annotated, in our thing. What the state's going to try to do is make sure that you've done everything possible to save life, or to what? Preserve life. If that is not, I mean, they're going to drill you to the wall. If you take someone's life, they're going to drill you to the wall, regardless. Was it necessary? And by reasonable person, if a reasonable person is in the same situation, would the census do the same? Majority of the people. Would they do the same? Okay? We're going to be running through some of these stress inoculation drills. So target or targets. Also what? Proximity. Distance. What's next? There's the time again. Time is life. Time is life. Okay? Reactionary gap in time. What's next? What does that mean? It can mean a few things. What's target and condition?
Are they drunk? They drunk, animal?
There you go.
Challenge.
There you go. Target and condition. Are they hurt?
Are they facing you?
Are they facing you? There you go. What else?
Are they holding their weapon?
There's a lot of things. Target and condition. Okay? That's a target condition. He's about to shoot on you right now. Okay? Target condition. That's a target condition. Alright? What else? There's the response too. Target condition and response. Is he fragile? Is he elderly? Maybe he didn't take his medications. Right? What else? Good luck. Good luck. A lot of times it gets to this point. Yeah. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, shoot. And then what type of reload does that require? Speed reload. Okay? Target engagements. Target standard response. Now, when I talk about target standard response, it's not the way the target responds, it's how you respond to the target. What does that say? Come on, read it.
They're the center.
You're going to double
Center
tap.
most available
To the hip.
Center of the most available target, ladies and gentlemen. Not center of the largest mass.
You're going to double tap.
If the largest mass is available, then if you shoot to the center anyway, well, that covers that, right? But if my buttocks is the only thing that's showing past this, right? And I'm holding up the students over here, what are you going to hit? Yeah! Shoot to the center of the most available target. Do you think that will interrupt his thought process?
Oh, yeah.
Yes! And again, you're stealing the time back. You're stealing time back, which they believe they own.
Yeah.
Because if I come in here and start shooting you guys, time is mine.
Yep.
I am. The only way you guys are going to take that time away from me is by snatching it. So, always aim 2 rounds to the center of the most available target. Or, because guess what? Armor is very, very easy to get these days. All right, I have 2 friends of mine who are over Afghanistan and Iraq. These dope heads, sorry, a lot of them were on dope when they attacked our soldiers for their bravery, but they started duct taping plates to their chest. Okay? So let me tell you something. Shooting the hips buys you massive amount of time because you take away their mobility. And there's a lot of stuff that bleeds really good down here.
Femoral artery.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Because you shoot my support system, guess what? And I start to fall, I can't get you. You're stopping, you're stealing their time away. All right? And again, watch your plates. Watch for bulletproof stuff. So the center to the largest mass doesn't always cut it no more. They also could be doped up to the point where I've seen it on videotape too. A cop shot a guy 3 times in the chest with a .45 and the guy kept coming. And died in the driveway after chasing the officer out of his house. The fight ain't over, guys, until it's over. Be vigilant. Be ready to go. It's on. Until you have what? Legal-wise, neutralizing the threat. You neutralize. Don't kill him. Don't kill her. You neutralize them. Now, if that happens in the process of neutralizing them, then so be it. Watch what you say. Okay? Failure to stop drill. This is nasty. But when it comes to multiple adversaries, it's necessary. Failure to stop drill is 1 to the brain, it's 1 to the head. That means they're still fighting. Again, it's on until it's over. If you don't neutralize them, you know how many soldiers we have lost because of what the video game says, the last stand? They come in, they room clear, pop, 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 and they're still moving, and this guy's not neutralized. He raises up and takes your tail out, your rear security. Okay? Questions? Anything else? Still going, rock and rolling? What time is class over? 5 o'clock? Okay. All right, engaging multiple targets. Law enforcement officers, I'm gonna pick your brain first. Or other private security contractors and anyone else. Name me one thing, only one person, name me one thing when it comes to engaging multiple targets.
Movement.
Okay? Closest, proximity. Okay? What else? Come on, guys.
The threat, or the one showing a clear threat at that time.
Okay? So I actually gave it away during, before here, when we were talking about target response, target conditioning, I named 3 things when we were at that point. Proximity, weaponry, and posture of intent. You got to look at that. Weaponry, proximity, and posture of intent. Who's closest? Who's closest? Guys, remember, I keep going back to that 21-foot rule. That's far. Who's closest? What else? Weaponry, what type? Edge weapon, firearm, rifle, rocket launcher, grenade launcher. Okay? What's the weaponry? Posture of intent. Who's coming? Movement. Right? Who's coming? Who's aggressive? Who is it? You know how long you have to make these decisions?
Split second.
You know the only way you can get to that position to make those decisions? How much repetition it takes? And even still, when you add the element of low light operations? It's all coming, guys. It's all coming. Multiple targets. Again, you got 2 targets. Engage the targets with a standard target response. And if necessary, FSD. What is FSD? Failure to stop drill. So even if there's 2 or more targets, right? Or let's say 2 targets, you'll take the same response even if there's more. You got to take 2 to the center of the most available target, 1 to the FSD. Doesn't matter if it's 2 or more targets. Okay? Now, welcome to reality. When you deal with reality, when we stand here and we look at this, okay, 2 targets, I can do that. Okay, we're going to test you when we get out to the live range. And we'll actually test you. We got the electronic stuff here, and we'll test you with your targets. The thing is about this is reality always tags this thing called totality of circumstance. I just got done telling you guys that this guy took 3 to the chest at 45 and still was coming at him. Now, you take that one individual to 3 to the chest, right, and then add 2 more. Yeah, it just got really bad, really quick. That's why it's called totality of circumstances. That's why, guys, the basics of what we taught you guys today is so important. Move off the X, your combat compass, all that stuff. You got to move. A static target's a dead target, and that gives you at least time. If they're tracking you like the OODA loop, right? Observation, orientation, decision, action. He's there. He's there. He's there. He's there. He's there. That's making them catch up. That's making them think and have to catch up to you. Keep moving and taking your enemies out as you move. I'd already talked about that. Some people say take one round. Okay? It's up to you as the shooter. What's totality of circumstances dictate? If you come through and I'm here and I see Nash, pop 1 to the head, well, I don't need to do 2 more. That's also a target response. It's a target response. You have to read it as it develops. Because, guys, targets move. They move. It's the whole reason for the 4-count draw. If I'm here with him and he's on top of me, right, and I shoot him in the hips, what happens if someone gets shot in the hips? Guess what? Now what's lined up with my muzzle? It's almost a heart shot. It's going right under his armpit, straight into his heart. Targets move. So even if you have someone here, if you're not really aware of everything in totality of what's going on in the room, and she gets up to move in front of you, and all of a sudden you take that shot, you shoot her in the head, and now you got to still take the adversary on. Guys, this is nothing glorious about it. There's no John Wick in it. There's no, there's no glory in it at all. It's one thing that I love a great movie. Yeah! You see that? I'm going to try that next time we're at the range. But the thing is, in real life, all of it sucks. This is where it comes to mindset. Okay? This is where it comes to mindset. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you wearing a weapon system on your hip? Those who carry, conceal carry, right? Some of you guys are conceal carry. Why do you do it?
I'm too young to die and too fat to run.
Too young to die and too fat to run. All right? There has to be some type of mindset. Have you ever came close to killing somebody?
No. Hopefully never will.
Close? Some of us have gotten really close to killing somebody. It's not glorious at all. Especially when it's a kid.
American sniper.
Okay, especially if it's a kid. That was me. 16 years old. I about shot a 16-year-old kid. Okay? The only thing that was separating him and the bullet in the head is a shear within the gun. Okay? It's not glamorous at all. It sucks. You guys need to get your proper mindsets. Yes, this is fun. Yes, we have a good time. But please don't fail to see the dark aspect of what we do. And prepare yourself. Look around you, to the left and to the right of you right now. These people are going to take care of you. But you also have to have faith in what they actually say. Another thing is, you got God shielding you as well. You've got to believe and have faith in what you're doing. Daggone it. David's mighty men. Come on. It's our job to know when to and when not to. All right? I want to use David as an example, a great, great example. I mean, come on. Even when all of his friends were all in the cave with him and telling him, hey, look, the Lord has surrendered Saul into your hands. Go ahead. Yeah? Take him. Saul didn't even know they were there. How good is that? How good was David when he walked up to Saul when he didn't even know, when he was urinating, defecating, he just piece of his robe and then went back into the darkness. But yet he still slaughtered more men than the sands of the seashore. Just because you have the capabilities, you have to have the intelligence and the knowledge and the skills to know when to do it. But when you do it, you have to have full what? Contentment in what you do. Guys, if there's 1 ounce of a second thought in your mind in this process, you will feel it and they will feel it. And they will take you. They will take you. They will take you. You have to be completely convicted in what you are doing. If you carry and you don't think about this stuff and you're not convicted, put it away. You're a danger to yourself and everybody else out there. I taught that program for over 3 years, the Tennessee Handgun course. I stopped teaching it for a reason. I didn't think it was good enough. Sorry, I don't. There's so much more that goes to wielding a weapon system than just what they're showing. And it will devastate you. Suicide rates right now are what? Having a good system with you and people who care about you and you believing in them will get you through anything. Not having them will get you through nothing. Okay, 3, we're going to talk about room clearing real quick. All right? Come on, I want some other guys who've done this for quite some time. Where's my water at? I'm drinking water. I'm up here talking. No, I got one. I just want to drink some. So I want some of these guys who've done this to start stepping up and start talking so I can get a break. Tactics of room and floor clearing, right? Things to address. What are the 3 main elements? I might have Bradley or Some other guys get up here and teach this portion. Speak to me. You guys have been trained. The one thing, you guys, let's stop for a second. I'm going to say this before we even get started with the conversation. Terminology sucks. They'll say something that I didn't hear about but mean the same thing. That's what a lot of times when it comes to teaching people who are soldiering and people who are also law enforcement, they know what you're talking about. It's just terminology. The terminology is different. Okay? So what do you guys think, the ones who have this experience, what do you guys think of the three main elements when you do room or floor clearing?
How many people in there?
Control.
Some of our law enforcement guys, I'm putting you on the spot. There you go. That's it. Say it a little louder.
Speed, surprise, violence of action.
There you go. Surprise, speed, and violence of action. That's how you overcome a room. If they knew you were coming, do you really think you're going to do that good? Well, it depends on your entry point. That will still cause a surprise. Yeah, through the wall, like what he did. The surprise! All right, so room clearing and floor clearing. Surprise, speed, and violence of action. So, surprise, speed, and violence of action. So you come in, you move, we'll talk about this. Fields of fire, areas of responsibility, and points of domination. We've talked about it a little bit before you guys went on this hiatus. Okay, we'll get to more of it. Three main elements of room clearing: surprise, speed, and violence of action. Next is the read and no read system. This is when before you go into a room. Okay? If I stack up and I'm with Bradley, and I'm with James, and I'm with Hopalong Cassidy coming in, and we stack up on the door here. A read is what? A read is, well, you guys didn't talk about it before you get to the room, but you guys know through training, you go the opposite direction than what the guy is in front of you. That's pretty much reading. You're reading what's happening in front of you. Right? That's what a read is. A no read is that we got together with the team, and we said who's going to go in first, and who's going to go in second. That's no read. You already know. You hit the room, you boom, you're in. Okay? And watch out for the tripwire called totality of circumstances. Because sometimes people will go into a room, they trip over their own feet, and they fall down. And you still have to take over their position. Or you move, right? Get to the point of domination. Read or no read. Path of least resistance. That's a good thing to know. But again, that's also a totality of circumstance and once you're in the room, unless you actually have intel of how things are placed in the room, which sometimes you just don't have. It could be furniture. We actually maneuvered, we manipulated the room a lot the last time that we were here. They put chairs and cones and everything else when they walked in the room, and all of a sudden, as soon as they come through the room, there's a wall of chairs there. You know, you got to move. Path of least resistance. Okay? And we also talk about the stack up. We'll stack up with 2 or more people. If you guys want to, we'll go in the room single-handedly as well. We'll work on those things. But again, you got to watch posture of intent, weaponry, and proximity, even if you're by yourself. I've done a few exercises going in by yourself. It sucks. The only thing that helped me out before I entered the room is I listened to try to hear the voices of where they were in the room, to try to get an idea in my head. Okay? And it still sucks. Breaching. Sorry, we're not using demolitions. All right? Yeah, there's... we can use James. Absolutely right. Yeah. Oh, James. We love James. Well, there's precision room clearing, and then there's another type of room clearing. You know?
The bowling ball.
I
Yeah.
prefer flat things.
Yeah, there you go. So we can't, we're not going to have all this other stuff to help with that. I mean, we can look at Halligan tools. We can look at sledgehammers. We can look at different things when it comes to barricading and stuff like that, but that's definitely on down the road. We don't need to get into that yet. Okay? Main thing is, watch the hinges. Watch the hinges of the door before you breach. This is one of the most important things. If you do not see the hinges, guess what? There you go. If you see hinges, it opens out. That has a lot to do with how you enter the room. All right, and then we'll talk about more about clearing hallways, clearing staircases, and guess what?
Communication.
What is that word? Yeah. What is that? Communicate. Non-verbal, verbal communication.
Make sure you're not telling somebody to steal third.
Go long. Oh, I thought we were actually breaking in, going in the hallway clearing. Okay, I'll go long. No, that's not what I meant. Okay, so communication is vital in everything that we also do. Okay, that's all we're going to talk about for right now, because we have 10 minutes. What would you like to do? I mean, we were talking about proximity, weapons, posture of intent, stuff like that, right? Why don't we get these lasers out and put some targets up? If you don't mind. Yep. Okay. We're going to have to clear that hallway so they can come in from the hallway. Actually, yeah, we'll do that. Sorry, it's still their bedroom. Good. Clear.
Clear.
All clear. Guys, communicate.
Bad guy here.
Yep. What indicated him as a bad guy, I guess? Did you actually see the weapon system before you engaged, or did you as soon as you came in?
No, I gave him when he turned.
Okay.
Because he was facing the wall.
Okay. And that was a great shot with him. I mean, that was close proximity. Your gun was angled there, and he fell. That was great. Good job. So what you see?
I didn't, well, I seen these, he was holding his, and I didn't see any threat as far as the weapon system, so.
You didn't take a shot?
Didn't take a shot.
Awesome, man. Good deal. So what he also did, what I liked, is he also started to cover and collapse his friend's back as well. Once he got to the point of domination, again, you don't know when the other individual is going to get back up. You don't know if he took those fatal shots. So you always want to watch, be muzzle disciplined, muzzle aware of where your operators are, and also be ready to take on other adversaries if they seem to be a danger. Okay? Another thing, guys, is guess what? You also are in charge of medic. If you do not shoot and kill the individuals, it's your responsibility to give them aid until EMS arrives. So do a good job. Do a good job. Yes. All right, next two operators. Get ready. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Don't shoot, please don't shoot. Put it down. Put it down. Get out.
You already got him.
Yeah, I know I already got you.
I'm hiding behind the line.
Good. All clear? You all clear?
Clear, got two down.
All clear. Exercise over. Well done, guys. Well done. That's it, guys. It's going to get more intense. I just want to do this real quick. That was a good shot. That was in my chest. Good shot. That was in my chest. So guys, this is what's coming. This is another reason why we have these laser thingies, and then we're also going to get into a point of airsoft as well, because with a little bit of pain inoculation, stress inoculation goes up. Okay? So it will get more difficult. Any questions, guys? I think it was a great class. We're right on 5 o'clock. So right on. You guys did great. A lot of information.
Good. We're done.
Yeah, we're finished. Yep, we're good.